Hey everybody, how you doing? So the last time I was on here, Alex was on here, and wait, I don't have Eleanor turned on. Let me get her real quick. Real quick, I'm running over there. I'm running over there, and I got it. Got it. Don't get up. Don't worry about it. Ah, I knew that camera was up next, so I wanted to make sure we were ready. So the microphone. Boy, do I have a lot of caps around here. A lot of caps, a lot of caps. Hey, it's Friday. That's right, it's Friday. Guess what? On Friday, that's when we get together and we meet together. All right, so I'm getting the caps out of the way because I want to move the mic back over to where it belongs. Okay, here we go. I got more caps than Carter has liver pills, as they say. There we go. Now the mic is back where she belongs. Mostly. Let's see, does this... Yeah, that goes in there. So this is the Shure mic, just in case you didn't know. This one is the Shure mic. Let's see what camera we're running. We're running the Nikon. Okay. I'm going to have to check the cameras because I did have guests here this week. Actually, they're still in town. They're leaving tomorrow morning is what they told me. So they are still in town. I'm moving this to make it a little more symmetrical. And plus, I don't want the camera to fall to the floor. So we'll move it over to this side, farther from the edge. You don't want something to break? Then don't put it somewhere where it can break. Hi, Jim Out Loud. I see you. We started already, technically. Last week and this week on Friday night, we had a sound problem, and I had it again tonight. And the way I solved it the last time was to change to another preamp. But tonight, you know, there's more than one way to skin the cat. That's what they say. See, I turned that camera on just in time. Just in time. Okay, so I did. And now she's on right there. I unplugged it from a hub, which is on that side of the room, and pulled the cable through from under the carpet, which is easy to do. Now, to put it back is going to be quite hard, all right? And let's double check and see what the S9 is doing, because she's supposed to be the hot spot for tonight. So this is the S9. I put that in the title, Panasonic S9. And boy, this camera dropped right in perfectly. Well, I did cheat a little bit. Okay, so the cheating was I took the S5 Mark II, which is on my desk over there. I'm just trying to make sure. Yes, now I can see it. I feel better when I can see it. All right. So, we're back over here to the Nikon. So you can see what cameras I'm on here if you haven't been here before. But if you've been here before, you already know that. It's no biggie. All right. So I bypassed the hub and plugged it directly into the Mac. What do they call it? Studio? The Studio 32. That's what Randy calls the Studio 64, because he's got 64 gigabytes in his. And I have 32 gigabytes in my Mac Studio. So this is the Studio 32. And one of the things that I like about the Studio 32 is it's got a lot of plugs, even some on the front. Let me take a look. Yep, there's more plugs on the front. Now, that new M4 that they've got out, that's supposed to be a really killer buy. However, the Studio's got more ports. And the ports is really what you need. So what I'd like to see is like 10 USB-A and 10 USB-C and a couple of HDMIs. And if you want, you could throw in an SD card slot in there for that kind of stuff. So we have what? Gosh, you know, the glare is so high I can't see it. So, you know, there's another way to skin the cat. I'll just open this. 10:05. We've been on 5 minutes. So, let's put up Jim. Jim Out Loud has a new channel. It's called Jim Out Loud. And he's a buddy. Jim is a buddy of mine. Yes, oh, now you go back to the S9. Sure. Now that I wanted to show off that camera. So I took the settings from the S5 Mark II and I duplicated them here. And all I needed to do was very little fine tuning. Maybe I moved the ISO up a little bit. And it could be a discrepancy between the cameras, the processors. You can have actually 2 identical cameras, set them both up exactly the same, and there'll be a bit of a difference. And that could be anywhere along the video chain. And that is an important thing for all of us to know and to realize. So we've completed another week, and wow, what a week it was. We got the wildfires going on. Let me go over here real quick. I'm going to where my chats are, where I chat with you guys, okay? So I wanted to come over to Carlos because he's in the way of the wildfires. All right, so I got worried about him because he's in California and he is where the wildfires are. Wildfires. Okay, so I said, please let me know how you're doing. I did. I called him a couple of times. I didn't get an answer. So finally, I did get an answer from Carlos, okay? And he said, hey, Peter, we did experience minor damage, mainly from the winds and not the fire. So they've got high winds going on over there, and the winds are blowing the fires. Now, the political aspect of it, I haven't watched that at all. I just keep track of people, see how they are, pray for the situation. So let me complete his sentence. But the city is on fire. This is Carlos talking now. But the city is on fire, and I've never seen anything like this. So it's quite demonstrative, okay? No water is in the fire hydrants. So they go to get the fire hydrants, go to turn them on to fight the fires. There's no water in the fire hydrants. I have 3 close friends who have lost their homes already. So this we're talking serious business here, okay? This is definitely apocalyptic for sure. We are cleaning up right now, and we will see how things are tomorrow. Thank you for checking up on me, okay? So then he goes on to say, let me clear this out over here. And let's get rid of that so I could see. Peter, we are okay. Unfortunately, more who we do know have lost their homes. I can't see. Oh, I know what to do. I know what to do. Just raise it up. Unfortunately, more who we know, this is from Carlos, have lost their homes, but thankfully everyone is okay. I hopefully will see you in your Friday night group later tonight. Love you. And I love you too. And we all love you. So that is the comments that I got from Carlos on checking up on him. And that is important for us to do because we care about people. Let's say something terrible was happening somewhere else, like in New Jersey. Well, we would be very concerned about the people that we love that are in New Jersey. So now Carlos and David. David is in. David is 365 days of surfing. He comes in maybe once a month, says hello. I do talk to him on the phone. He is a Christian brother in Christ, but he's out there doing his stuff, his thing. Okay, so but we do want to make sure David is okay too. So Mr. Camera Junkie is here, and he says, hiya. Hiya, everybody. How you doing? We're doing good. We're doing good. Wouldn't you say we're doing good? And we are showing off the Panasonic S9 tonight. I had an interesting conversation with Randy today. So I'm kind of hung up. Randy's not. I am. Okay. I'm kind of hung up on GyroFlow. GyroFlow is a software that you use after you've recorded and then before you go to your NLE, which would be a program where you do your editing. Okay. I use Final Cut Pro. Other people use different ones. They use Adobe Premiere Pro. Okay. So what GyroFlow does is it actually takes the video. So if you look at my last video that I put up on Patreon, all right, I used this camera, which is the A7C Mark II, and there's irony with this camera. This camera was gifted to me by Randy. So Randy is a blessing, not only to me, but to the channel. Okay. So when this came out, I was disappointed in it, not even holding it, not even seeing it in person. So that's a little weird. Okay. But I actually expected more. Because I have Eleanor. Let's see if we can get over to Eleanor. So now we're on the S9. This is the Lumix, the Panasonic Lumix S9. And there's a 50 millimeter, no, I'm sorry, there's an 85 millimeter 1.8, the Lumix brand. So it's a Lumix brand lens on a Lumix brand camera. Now this is a Nikon, okay, but I don't have a Nikon brand lens on here. I have a Meike. For the greater amount of population, we call it Meike, okay, M-E-I-K-E. I did write to them, and they told me it's pronounced Meike. That's a mistake. They should call it Meike because everybody I talk to and everybody I hear calls it Meike. Yet, when I wrote to them and they answered me back, they said, no, the correct pronunciation is Meike. Like May, the month of. Key, like how you get in your front door. Okay. So this is a third-party lens on the Nikon camera. That's sometimes they could cause problems between each other, but I've had no problems with this Meike lens. Meike, there's no problems with this Meike lens. Okay. So I can endorse that lens. It does good. I look good. And as long as I look good, hey, we're good to go. All right. So I started to tell you. This is the A7C Mark II. Now, this actually could be a really good competitor to, let's go over here real quick. All right, so this could be a competitor to the S9. So the S9 is what you're looking at now live. That's the picture that you're looking at is the S9. It has an 85 millimeter lens on her and at 1.8. And yes, we are probably running in, yeah, the bokeh looks good. Bokeh Bashuda. It looks great, doesn't it though, Carlos? Carlos is going to come in a little bit later and we are going to want to find out how he is doing. So this camera, which is the A7C Mark II, and the camera that you're actually looking at right now are basically competitors. So this camera would be $500 more. What does it give you? Well, it actually gives you a viewfinder, A7C Mark II. So the S9 Mark I, they'll come out with a Mark II one day. I want to say Mark after all the cameras because we got Mark I, Mark II, Mark III. So when we get to the Nikon, that's a Mark III. Nikon Z6 Mark III. So this is a Sony A7C Mark II. Okay. You know, years ago, the car industry, they were so easy to deal with. You had the Buick Limited. You had the Buick Limited Park Avenue. You had the Buick Limited Park Avenue Ultra. And they were names. And you had the 1976, 1977. These things, they come with the weirdest names in the world. I don't like it. And I'm going to say it. I don't like it. This should be the Panasonic Lumix Super Duper, okay? Or the, the Easy Carry. And then you can have Easy Carry 1, Easy Carry 2, Easy Carry 3. But instead, you've got all these weird names, and then you get into something like Black Magic. Forget it. They've lost their heads. And we've succumbed to this. We are accepting it. Well, I'm making a statement right now. I am not accepting it. Put real names on these stinking cameras. All these crazy names. Sony. Oh, don't even start with Sony. You got the Sony ZV-1. Now, you've got the Sony ZV-E1. The difference between the Sony and Sony 1 and the ZV-E1 is like $2,000. Here, this is the Sony ZV-E1. I named it Eleanor. It's so much easier than saying ZV-E1. Now, I will say ZV-E1 every once in a while because not everybody knows that I nicknamed my baby girl Eleanor, okay? So now what Eleanor has is it has one of the best darn image stabilizations, is that plural, in the camera. Now, they came out with new cameras. Does it have that wonderful, crazy good image stabilization? No, it does not. It does not. By the way, if anyone has trouble with making their comments, let me know because I didn't turn on the, what do they call it, the slow mode, because Shane was having trouble with it last week, so I just kept it off. You do have to be a subscriber to make the comment, and that's it. That's the only thing that I turned on. And the reason that I do that is because I have gotten bombarded from porn sites. Now, porn sites can be funny, okay, but in a family situation like this, I don't really want to be bombarded by porn sites. So, the claim to fame besides the names. So, we got the E1, you've got the ZV-E1, you've got the ZV-1, you got the ZV-E10, okay, and then you've got the ZV-E10 Mark II, which would be ZV-E10 Mark II. Now, that's a good buy. That camera is a good buy, just like this one is a good buy. When the camera A7C Mark II, which I'm holding right now and showing to you, when it came out, I was disappointed because my Sony Eleanor had 5 times better image stabilization. And I'm going like, what is this? An adopted stepchild? Hello? Why didn't they put it in here? Ah, but we have a fix. We have a nice fix, okay? And that is software called GyroFlow. Now, if it wasn't for GyroFlow, I would be over at the S9, the Lumix S9, which will be coming up to in a minute and 16 seconds, okay? Because they actually have a very, very fine, very fine house with 2 cats in the yard. Used to be so hard, but everything is easy 'cause of you. I'm breaking out into song and I have a little reverb going on here. So Sony's stabilization basically sucks. Sorry to say it like that. Nikon is a step better, but not a whole lot. Lumix, the Panasonic, is the best. The best. Okay? And you don't have to go into a third-party software, which is where Randy and I don't see eye to eye. I don't mind going into the third-party software, especially now. They've made it no brains required, okay? So, but let's say you're like Randy, and a lot of people are. When I'm finished and I take the SD card out, no SD card in this camera. Okay, when I take the SD card out, let's pretend I'm holding one in my hand. Let's see if there's one in this camera. Oh, I want to hold one in my hand just for, we have one in here. Okay. So when I take the SD card out of the camera, where am I? Right here. Randy wants to be one and done. Randy's a friend of mine for you guys that are new, okay? Actually, he's on here. He's the last one that commented, Randall Brander. Okay, and he goes, well, I don't want to go over to GyroFlow. I don't want to go to Catalyst Browse. I want to take it out of the camera and have it ready to use. Okay, that's a legitimate thought process. Not a problem. But that's not for everybody. And I'm not anybody. So I'm a nobody. They need to make a song. So I don't mind taking the file that I recorded or the many files that I recorded, throw them into a software like Catalyst Browse, but I won't use Catalyst Browse now because they have a much superior program and it's very high priced. It's free. Like Lewis would say, free $100. Okay? It's free, okay? And I just can put them, all the clips in there, go eat dinner. Go to Mickey D's, go to Chick-fil-A, go get a pizza from Papa John's, whatever. And when I come back, they're all stabilized, okay? Now, it's not a little bitty stabilization. It's at the same level as a gimbal. I'm sure there's a difference, and I don't know what it is to tell you what the difference is, but my guess is because the gimbal costs so much, it might be better, all right? And different situations would make one thing better than the other. Like GyroFlow, you don't have to bring extra equipment. You don't have to go into a restaurant with this big stick on the bottom with a gimbal just to keep your camera stabilized. Turn the stabilizer off. Let's talk English. English is spoken here, right? Right. Okay. The chief engineer says right. Okay. So just shoot the images, come home, throw all your clips in GyroFlow, come back when you're done sitting on the toilet or whatever it is that you do for fun, okay? And and they're all stabilized. That feature shoots the Sony ahead of all the other camera brands. That feature only, okay, shoots it ahead of all the other camera brands. Now you take the Nikon Z6 Mark III. Wow, what a fine camera. It's got image stabilization that's a step above most Sonys, except for Eleanor, ZV-E1. Okay, so the stabilization is at the lower end of acceptable to me. I think Randy would say it's actually acceptable, Peter. Okay, so each person has their own tolerance level, and that's why we respect each one of us. Everybody gets the right to, have their own set of features that they like, and we need to respect each other for that. Okay. Randy likes a white car. I like a candy apple red Tesla Model Y, and the Model Y is being upgraded. I wish I had pictures to show you. It's being upgraded, and it's gotten uglier. Oh, yes. Now, Peter, why are you clapping because it's gotten uglier? They can't make a pretty car. It looks like a jelly bean going down the road. I come from an era of Cadillac Fleetwoods, Buick Park Avenues, the Chevrolet Caprice Classic, the Mercury Marquis, okay, the Ford Crown Victoria. Those were the cars. Now you've got Model 101, Model 107, Model 10-42. What's the name of the brand? BMW, okay? And then even Mercedes, ECE1, ECS, S Mark II, S up your ass. Oop, now I got to go to confession, okay? What? Can we go back to when things made sense just a little bit? Who is running these places? It's got to be the kids that did not do well in school, but was able to soft talk the teacher, bring an apple, pass the class, and now they're running the stinking companies. And the country is going to hell in a handbasket. Anyway, off the rant, onto the cameras, okay? So we've got, now in China, Buick is using the old names. The Buick Park Avenue is in China, not in the United States. You don't have a Park Avenue in the United States. You don't have a Fleetwood. You don't have a, what were the Cadillac names? You had the Fleetwood Brougham. You had the Sedan DeVille. All those cool things. Okay, so now you got numbers and letters. Remember, everybody was going like, don't turn me into a number. I have a name. Well, the big money people that run companies are turning everything into numbers. And it won't be a while before it's like, hey, 103.99942, how are you today? Oh, I see Carlos is in the room. So let's continue. So we said hi to Jim out loud. Hi, Jim. Love you, buddy. Thank you for being here. Jim is my friend. And here's Louis. Louis is my friend. And he is Mr. Camera Junkie, which you guys know, right? That's not a surprise, Mr. Camera Junkie. Sammy, Bo, Sammy, banana fo Sammy, V5 fo Sammy, Sammy Superstar. He loves to hear his name. Sammy Superstar. We love you, Sammy Superstar. I love you too, and all of us do as well. That didn't rhyme. All right, but it was an attempt. So hi, Sammy, how you doing? Jim says it's good to hear Carlos is okay. I've been very worried about him as I watched the coverage and tracked the fires. Actually, Jim wrote to me to reach out to Carlos, and I immediately picked up the phone and called Carlos, and I immediately went to voicemail. Carlos is good for that. Voicemail. But he will respond to me. Leo, I haven't seen you in so long. How you doing, buddy? I love you. Leo is in Germany. Yes, Germany's got their problems going on now too, don't they? But as soon as I saw your name, I remembered you. Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, and all that good stuff. I'm so happy to see you here. I used to be more active, but I know you keep me in mind, and we all keep you in mind. So Kimbuka is here. Hi, Peter and chat. How you doing, sweetheart? It's so good to see you. I imagine you're a girl. That's why I'm calling you sweetheart, because if you're a guy and I'm calling you sweetheart, Will. Hi, Peter and chat. Good to see you. You do come in quite often, so love you. Thank you for being here. You are a sweetheart, a real sweetheart. You make me happy when skies are gray. Oh, let's make sure I turn my church room off because I don't want to sound like I'm in a hall. Sammy says Sony has amazing image stabilization. Sammy, you didn't take your medication today, did you, big boy? I know you didn't. Now, Sammy has an FX30. That is a really nice camera. That's one of the few cameras that's got everything you could want in one camera, and then some. And if you don't like the image stabilization on the FX30, then you stick it in GyroFlow and it will stabilize it for you better than if you were holding one of those big gimbals with both your hands and you're gimbling around town, steering wheels, hanging wires. Sammy's got one of those things where it comes over and hangs over his head and you hold the camera on a wire. Okay, that's what they call a skyhook. Okay, no, but his is real. So, and Randy's here and he's saying hi to Leo and Kimbuka. Kimbuka, yes, give us cool car names again. You go, girl. And if you're not a girl, you need to tell me because I don't want to be insulting anybody. But it's kind of funny, especially if you're a guy. How you doing, sweetheart? Yeah, they had really good, cool car. Now, Tesla, the Model Y. That's what I would buy today. I would have a choice between 3 cars, and I would want to drive all 3. Okay? So the way that it broke down is I was so hot under the collar for a Model Y. Oh, man, I want a Model Y. I want a Model Y so bad I could taste it. That's just the saying. I don't go around licking cars, okay? So, but everybody or most of the videos that I was watching was saying a car rides so hard and it's so noisy in here, and we got to buy gaskets and put them around the door to keep the air noise out and all kinds of stuff like that. Well, I'm going like, I don't like that, really. So Cadillac came out with a car called the Lyric, which is an EV. It's got all the buttons in the proper places. It's got a speedometer in the middle where it belongs. It's got the windows up here and the windows down in the same spot. The door locks, the seat adjustments, the tick-tock to go left or to go right is right there on the whatchamacallit, on the steering column. If you hit the center, the horn goes back, okay? So it's exactly what I like. And it's about $15,000 more, but this is all in my dream world anyway. So if I can dream up a Tesla, I can dream up a Lyric. However, with the way things are in the world, okay, I'm not so sure I want to call attention to myself. I'd like to be a little more under the radar. So that is that would be the negative side of the Cadillac Lyric, okay? So if it didn't say Cadillac on it, and it wasn't incredibly flashy, because it is a pretty flashy car, I like that car. And it's supposed to be quieter and smoother than the Tesla. Everything you could want. It's even got peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Well, not really, okay? And then, but it's large. And I'm getting older, and I'd like to zip in and zip out of parking spaces. Now I drive a Lincoln Town Car, 1997, okay? And before you laugh at me, it's got 22,000 original miles on it, meaning I don't drive very much, okay? And when I say original, I don't mean it went around 122,000 miles. It's got 22. I changed the tires because in 2017, they said that your tires are going to blow out. Okay, now I did talk to my cousin. He said, your car's in the garage. He says the rubber has to deteriorate. You're not out in the rain and the snow. Well, there's no snow down here. He said you could have, and you just go to Publix, you go to the post office, you go to Pinch a Penny, and you come home. You didn't have to change the tires because they look like brand new. But I did. I went to Walmart in 2017, and I got 4 tires with white walls, one of the last set of white walls you could find these days. And now, 2017, 3 and 4, it's 7 years, and they say tires only last 3 years. But my cousin said, it's fine. It's not out in the sun. It's not getting, destroyed by UV rays. And he says, just don't let the car sit there for so long. Because I have to say, truthfully, I might drive once every 2.5 weeks. The rest of the time, the car sits in the garage. I've even bought a trickle charger on it because it sits in the garage so freaking long that the battery dies. And I haven't used the car in 2 weeks. I go to start it. Tick, 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 tick. The battery's dead. So the first time, it tricked me, and I bought a new battery. Then the next time, the battery that we're in it now, we're on 6-7 years now, okay? It stays on a trickle charger, which is an automatic thing. When its battery's charged up, it turns the charge off. The battery drops down, it gives it a very slow trickle charge, okay? No problem, no problem, no problem, no problem. So that car is a big car is what I was trying to say, all right? So to park it, it's like parking something very large in the parking space. And to get more spaces for the permits nowadays, they make the spaces smaller. So the Tesla Model Y is just the right size, okay? And then the last of the 3 electric cars that I'm interested in, and I am interested in electric. And it's not because I'm a tree hugger. I do care about the environment to the point where I respect it. I don't want it destroyed. But turn on the damn pipeline, okay? It's a pipe inside of a pipe, okay? So If it breaks, they'll lose pressure and they'll know, and they'll shut down the pipeline and repair it. So the chances of damaging wildlife now is so much less. So much less. But the environmental crazy people, the tree huggers as I call them, you can't have oil going through the forest. No oil through the forest. Well, screw you. I need oil to run my car. Okay? So make the oil safe. There's your happy medium. Make the oil safe so that it can come down the pipeline. Now we buy oil from our enemies. Okay? So anyway, the last car of the 3 triplets that I would like to purchase is probably one you haven't heard of. But the brand is a Genesis, and it's a GV70 electrified. So they have the same car with a gasoline engine, if we want to speak properly, and the same exact car that is operated by complete battery engine system, okay, motors. So you have your choice. Now, that car is very appealing. It's kind of pretty. It's not as ugly as the Tesla, okay, and I like it too. So it's hard to choose. Now, a friend of mine, let's call him like a grandson, okay? I love the kid like he's a grandson. And he rented a Model Y for a special occasion. But it wasn't a new one. He rented through, what is this new thing they got going on called Turo, all right? You know what Airbnb is? Airbnb is you have a house, and let's say you have a second house, and you don't use it very much. So you sign it up with Airbnb, so you rent out the house for, up to a week at a time or something to that effect. And they pay you. And then you go in, clean everything up, wash the sheets, wash the floors, make it look like brand new again, put it back on Airbnb. Now you've got income coming from that house, okay? They have the same thing for the car, and it's called Turo, Turo. So you could actually make a business out of that. So this person has got like 6 or 7 cars, and one of them is a Model Y. It's a 2022. They've got a Mustang. They've got a Mercedes. And it's a lady. It's a lady, okay? And she uses that as her business. And I'm thinking, like, I don't go anywhere. If I can get enough money to have 2 or 3 cars, they could be out on Turo. Go. They're touring. They're making me money. It's got a positive cash flow. Now, that is smart, okay? Anyway, he rented a car for 5 days. He had a girlfriend coming into town. He wanted to impress her, so he got a Model Y Tesla. And I got to ride in the Tesla for the very, very first time. What is it, 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago now? And oh my gosh. And I had him take me for a good ride. Okay, we went around the city. It wasn't like around the block. And I'm going like, all this stuff that I read is all bull crap. The car is quiet. It's harder than my Lincoln, but everything is harder than the Lincoln. The Lincoln rides like on a cloud, like a Rolls Royce. Okay? Completely acceptable. And I'm going like, I put the car out to pasture in my mind because of noise and harsh ride. And when I rode the Model Y, it was the dual engine one, not the performance and not the low end, the middle one. Okay? It got put back right back on my list. Okay? Now, in the meantime, what Tesla has done is they've upgraded another of their cars, which is called the Model 3. Now, the Model 3 and the Model Y are kind of, I don't know if they're on exactly the same chassis or not, but they're basically supposed to be the same car. One is made more of an SUV. It's got a hatchback. It's a little longer. It's got more space inside, and that's the one I like. It's the Model Y. Now, they upgraded the Model 3, and what did they do? They made it quieter. Does that ring a bell with Peter? Yes, it does. They made it much smoother. Does that ring a bell with Peter? Yes, it does. So now we were just waiting for them to upgrade the sister car, which is the Model Y. Now, guess what? the Model Y has just gotten released in the China website. So I could see the pictures of it. They put a light bar across the front and a light bar across the back. But they said they paid attention to the ride quality and to the sound. This is music to my ears. And they even came out with a new blue, which is actually a very pretty blue because I like the ultra red, which is kind of like a cherry red, candy apple red. I like the red cars, okay? I'm in the Christmas room. Heck, I like red. It's just part of who I am. So, it hasn't arrived in the United States yet. You can't buy it here. You go to Tesla.com, you still will see the current car, okay? But you got to see the pictures of what they're going to do with the one that's going to be released in a month or two, okay? So now you're seeing sales, you're seeing inventory getting depleted. It's just a matter of time before the new Model Y is going to come out. And I would like to say the 2025, but that's not how they do it. Tesla just keeps making changes. No name changes, nothing. Not even a year change. So a Cadillac 2020 and a Cadillac 2021 is two different cars. That's a 2020. What do you got? Oh, I got the 2021. The Tesla? Nothing, honey. They'll update it in 3 weeks. They'll update it again in 2 months. Whenever they have an improvement, they stick it on. Okay? So now the new car is going to have double pane laminated windows in the front and I suppose the rear. That's going to be for sound. It's going to have new gasketing for sound. It's got a new layout of the seats, more comfortable for comfort. Okay? The suspension system, they say all new. We'll find out when people start talking about it. Okay? So now the Tesla has moved back to the top of my list. So I started to say it's not because I'm an environmentalist. No, I don't want to change the oil no more in the car. I don't want to take it in to have an oil change, filter change, air filter change. I don't want to have the car get tuned up, spark plugs get changed. I don't want to have the radiator flushed. No. Want to plug it in, unplug it, and go to my grocery store and come home. And if I want to go to my brother's house, it's all on electricity. We're not burning up gas to get there. Yes, it takes gas to make the electricity, but that is BS, okay? So my own people, which would be the conservative people, are very anti-electric cars, and you should hear the arguments that they use. These cars are terrible in the winter. You lose 50% of your battery, and sometimes you can't even charge them in the winter. Lie. Not true. User error. Okay? And the other thing is, there's no long range to go on a trip. You could get stuck out in the middle of nowhere. Lie. Wrong answer. And the best one is, don't park it in your garage. They catch on fire, and it'll burn your whole house down while you're sleeping. Wrong answer. Lies. Okay? So the thing with the winter is, yes, lithium-ion batteries operate not as well in cold as they do in warm. All right? Tesla took care of that. It keeps the batteries at the right temperature. If it gets too hot, it's got a system in there that cools the batteries down. If it gets too cold, it's got a system in there that makes the batteries warmer. And all this stuff about not being able to charge up in the winter, you need to prepare your car to charge. It brings the battery up to a little warmer temperature, and it's like a pre-preparation. They call that something, can't think of the name of it. I will, and I'll spit it out for you. Okay? And you're supposed to do that before you get to the charger, so that the battery is nice and toasty. It's ready to receive a charge. But all these people up in Chicago that have electric EVs, they don't know. Nobody reads the directions. And they go to charge and the car won't take a charge. It's too cold. And then when it charges so slow. Oh my God. I'm going to be here for 3 weeks to get this car charged up. Well, the word that I was looking for is you should have preconditioned your battery before you go to charge it. And you can do it while you're sitting in your chair in your living room. You pick up your phone and you go, precondition my battery. I'm going to go charge it. And by the time you get out to your car, it's already using some of your power. Yes. So you do lose about 15% or less when you're in cold, snowy, blizzard climates, because it is in the process of keeping your battery at a temperature that is optimal for the battery to operate. I pushed myself all the way far away from the seat. Okay, so you have to precondition the car. Now, how about the fires? The fires. I got caught with my pants down on that one. Okay, because they said, oh, the fires. And the fire departments have to buy a special $20,000 blanket to put out the fires that happen in the electric cars. That part is true. The only way to get those fires out, because they're melting to the core, is to deprive them of oxygen. So they have a special blanket, cover the whole car, seal it to the ground, and the fire will burn itself out. That is true. Okay, so if you have an electric car and it catches on fire and you have a fire department around, they will cover it over with a blanket that they've already bought. They didn't buy it for you. You're not, the only one with an electric car, but it did cost them $20,000 to buy that blanket. Okay, that is a negative. All right. Now, here's the other side. Out of 100,000 cars sold, so if they sell 100,000 cars, you get that? 150 EVs will catch on fire. Out of 100,000 cars, 150 will catch on fire. Out of every 100,000 gasoline cars, 15,000 will catch on fire. And out of 100,000 hybrids, part electric, part gas, 25,000 will catch on fire. So put me in the 150 group. So this business, when they hear they catch on fire, they burn to the ground, nothing you can do, they are the least likely to catch on fire. And the hybrids, which are part electric, part gas, are the most likely to catch on fire. They just don't tell you that, because they're arguing that your car will catch on fire and you need a special blanket and you can't charge up in the winter, and therefore you should never buy an electric car. Hello? Now, how about the trip? The Tesla, and I don't know about all the other ones, but the Cadillac does also, the GM ones, okay? They will direct you automatically, like an airline pilot will automatically do a flight plan. If you're going on a trip, you tell the car, I'm going to visit Jim Monday. And Jim Monday's in Virginia and I'm in Miami. And you tell the car that. And it will plot the stations that you need to go charge at, number one. And just as important, even though it's number two, how long you have to stay there. So you don't pull in and fill your tank up like in a gas car. You pull in and it tells you how much time to take, and it will actually tell you that this is how much you need to get to your next charging station on your way to visit Jim Monday, who's in Virginia, okay, or Maryland. I forgot where you are, Jim. Okay, so you will just go up I-95, okay, and it will tell you that you need, and you can skip this charger and charge earlier if you want. And they're not all 45 to 2 hour minute fill-ups. Sometimes you have to take 10 minutes. Sometimes you have to take 40 minutes, depending on how long or how far down the road the next charger is that it is going to do you on your flight plan. So it's all taken care of. Now, am I saying everybody should be driving an electric car? No, it's that free choice thing again that we have in America. As Americans, we have something free choice. I might want McDonald's, I might want Chick-fil-A, I might want something else, Wendy's, okay? It's my choice. I might want a Buick, I might want a Nissan, I might want a Cadillac, I might want a Tesla. It's my choice. However, there's groups of people that want to take away your choice. Them, I say, no. I get to choose. Now, if I choose against an electric car, it is my choice. Let's say I was a traveling person and I just don't feel comfortable with an electric car because I don't want to get stranded somewhere. Okay, and Tesla's got 22,000, and by the time, that could be old news, 22,000 charging stations. Tesla alone. Then you've got EV Go, you've got EV Charger, you've got something in plug. Okay, now they're not as good as the Tesla. However, Tesla has opened, but not all in one shot, but they're unrolling it, where the other guys can also use the Tesla charging stations. So it's when you hear my conservative group, because I'm in the conservative group compared to the liberals. Now the liberals are all, into the environment and this and that for the EVs. No, you should buy an EV because you want one. That's the reason to buy it. You buy a chocolate bar because you want the Reese's Pieces. You want the peanut butter cup. You want the Hershey bar. There's so many different chocolate bars. You don't see people out there with signs saying which chocolate bar you should have. Okay? You do have people on television trying to sell you theirs. That's called an advertisement. Which we have lots of advertisements. All right? So that is my little rant on electric cars. But anyway, the Tesla's back on the list. And they're unrolling an update to the car. And I'm excited. Now I'm asking the Lord, Lord, here I am. Bless me. I want to be blessed. I want to have a Tesla. And let's say maybe God doesn't like Tesla. Then I want a GV70 electrified. That's the name. They came up with it. I didn't. The Genesis GV70 electrified. On that car, I wanted black with a white interior. On the Tesla, I wanted that cherry red or ultra red with the white interior. I even pick out the colors on all these cars. Cadillac, I'm torn between a solid white car and a solid black car. I've always had black cars. But maybe in my upper years, I'm getting smart and going like, wait, I live in Miami. Maybe a black car wouldn't be so smart. Maybe a white car would be better. But only on the Cadillac. Otherwise, I wanted black or cherry red or ultra red is the correct color. I don't want to mislead you. All right, so let's get back to the important part of this, which is you amaze me. Okay, where are we? Randy is saying hi to Leo and Kimbuka. Kimbuka is give us those cool car names. Oh, here's Carlos. Hi, y'all. Thank you for your prayers. Fires are still blazing. Carlos is in California. Okay, so I have been reaching out and am in communication with him, not as often as I like. Fires are still blazing all over LA. We are okay, but on high alert. So, and they're staying, it says still on high alert. So that's something you really do pay attention to. Okay, so I think one of the other comments that is not this one, but that Carlos is Bouquet Basciuto. Okay, so if you're wondering why I keep saying Carlos, you see the red? Where's my finger? Straight down over to, come on, move that hand. Down a little longer. Bouquet Basciuto. Okay, that is Carlos. Carlos is part of the family, part of the Friday night family. We are family here. Hello? Okay, and that's not bullshit. We get together once a week and we just chit-chat with each other. Talk cameras. Last week I was talking about floor washing machines, which machine is right over there. I washed my floor today. I've had that machine for a week and I've washed the floor 4 times. Now, and when things settle down and it's not a boys and their toys type of a thing, because it's something new for me, it'll be once a week. It won't be 4 days in 1 week, okay? But I did learn how the machine works. I learned the ins and outs. I learned the tricks. Scotty, you listening? Got all kinds of great, neat tricks, okay? So let's keep our Carlos in our prayers. He might have to go and leave. If my snapper snapped, okay, in the blink of an eye, he might have to go. And I'm not talking about the rapture, okay? And so therefore, we got to keep even the people that we don't know that are in California. There's a lot of politics being slung around. That it's your fault, it's your fault, it's your fault, it's your fault, it's your... The fires are still burning, okay? And it looks like Hurricane Andrew did here when it came through here. And Hurricane Andrew, it looked like Miami was a war zone. It was a terrible, terrible thing. Super terrible, okay? And now Carlos said it looks like the city's on fire. There's no water in the fire hydrants. Now, I don't know why, okay? And I'm sure Carlos could tell us. But Carlos, if you can talk, call me, and I'll put you on, and I'll put you on speakerphone so that people can hear you, and I can ask questions, and you can say what's on your mind. It's up to you, buddy. Feel free, okay? Not a live connection. I'm not set up. I don't have the headphones. I don't even know where they are, okay? So, but if you want to call me, I'll put you on right away. They can hear your voice. You can give us a detailed description of what's going on because you're there and most of us are not. Okay, yeah, we do watch the news, but the news are sensationalists at the least, okay, and they go all the way into liars, okay. So somebody lit a match, but they'll tell you that everyone's lighting matches and burning the place down. All right, so hearing the truth for somebody that we love and we know, that's a good thing. Okay, so that is Carlos. And that's what he said. For those of you who want to see it, the fires are still blazing. What I would, if you were on the phone, you know what I would ask you? You know how a chart goes up and then it goes down, especially on the stocks that I buy? Okay. Where are we on the chart with the fires? Are we still climbing up to the worst case scenario? Still haven't reached that peak? Or have we crossed that peak and things will slowly start to be under control? That is what I really would like to know. Because the only thing that I see on YouTube is, it's terrible here. It's going in. Now, people have died, so let's not be disrespectful and joke. Okay? People have died because of the fire. So this is very serious and very respectful territory. It's not political, because I have seen them try to bring it into the politics. I don't really know how that works for a fire, okay? But I would like to get some more information. So feel free to call. Let me make sure my red button is not on. It's not. So Carlos, if you're free and you can talk, hit me, buddy. I'd like to hear it, okay? So Randy says, we're praying for you, and yes, we are. We're praying for you and your family. Carlos's wife's name is Meg, and so we pray for both of them, and they have a little doggy also. So Kimbuka, oh my gosh, I sing that song to my son before bed. That is cool. Now I don't remember which song I sung. Well, one of them. That's cool. So you've got a son. How old is your son? Is he like 4 or 5? Is he 8 or 9? So kids are wonderful. And Kimbuka is saying hi to Randy. She says she shoots with the Sony A6400. Which camera am I on? All right, A6400. And I still haven't tried using any post-stabilization software. This camera has no in-body stabilization, and I could use it sometime. All right, to try to not be as verbose as I am, which means talking and never shutting up, okay? Find a software called Gyro Flow. Just the way it sounds. It's free. And it's at a website called gyroflow.co. something weird, .io, .xy, something. You download it, you put it in your computer, and then you take the software, and on the left side, it says load files. Load the files if you've got a Sony, okay? And you do. You've got the 6400. Load the files in there, and the only thing you do have to change before you say go for it to stabilize it is over on the right side, it will ask you how you want the files to be exported. So you can export them as an H.264 or H.265 if your computer handles those. And you're one and done. And it'll stabilize it really beautifully. The only thing you do need to be careful of, and if I could speak louder here, I would, but I'm not going to blow my mic out, okay, is the image that we have now, it's going to crop it in quite a bit. All right. So let's say this was, you're looking at the screen for gyroflow. All right. Gyroflow is going to take it and do that with it. Okay. It's going to throw away some of the sides. And the reason for that is it's moving the image, and it'll get black lines at the top, the sides, the bottom, and it trims it so the black lines are all gone. Okay. So what you would do, give yourself some extra room like that. So then when you crop it, it will look like a normal frame. So if you keep that in mind, I keep it in mind. All right. So when I do this, use the A7C II, which is a Sony, okay, I use the 11 millimeter, which is a very wide lens, and I hold it out like that, and it's pretty comfortable. Okay. Now it looks when I bring it in like, oh my God, there's a lot of room. Why didn't you get closer? Because when I stabilize it, it's going to get closer. And let's say I choose not to stabilize it. You don't have to stabilize everything you do, okay? Then you crop it in on your Adobe Premiere or your iMovie or Final Cut Pro. And you control all of that. So it's easy peasy, okay? So the name of the program is Gyroflow. It doesn't cost anything. So I'm not doing a sales job on anybody here. Okay, it's a group of guys and gals that got together and they created some software to stabilize, because Sony will give you the gyro data that comes in the camera. Canon will not, and Nikon will not, and I bash them for that. I don't talk bad of companies, but when they need to be corrected and spanked, why don't they put the gyro data in here? They've got, Canon specifically has got warbling, where everything is okay in the middle, but over here it's like, looks like you're being transported by the Starship Enterprise. Okay, well, it's all fixed. Put a gyro in the camera and let the people do it after the fact. The noise you hear is all these little covers that I've got going. All right, so Kimbuka has got 6400. That's a nice camera, by the way. I had one. So it's a very nice camera. I am woman, hear me roar, in numbers too big to ignore. So a while back I was going, I don't know if you're a lady or a man. Okay, so I know you're a lady and you have a son. See, I'm learning about you. I'm a spy. I should call up the CIA tomorrow. Hi, CIA. I want to work for you. I'm an excellent spy. Yeah. Well, we'll send you an application. Don't hold your breath, Peter. So Carlos is saying, thank you, Randy and Jim. Appreciate you guys. Here's our gal, Sly. Hi, Peter and everybody. I've got my grandson with me tonight, so I'll be in and out. Oh, boy. Hi, Hoss. How you doing, Hoss? I see you playing on the computer over there. I hope you're being a real good boy. Hey, Hoss, are you being a real good boy? Granny loves you, Granny loves you. Oh, Hoss, Granny loves you. Hey, Hoss, I've got a question for you. Do you love Granny too? Granny loves Hoss, Granny loves Hoss, but does Hoss love Granny back too. In case you haven't figured it out, Hoss is her grandchild. So she is doing babysitting duties, but she's in her glory. She loves Hoss. She, you know, the world could be going to hell in a handbasket. She's going to be taking care of Hoss. We love you, Sly. I love you, Sly. Everybody loves Sly. Sly, wait a minute. Sly, 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 da da da. Sly, 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 la da da. It's a song I don't remember who sings it, but it was a famous song 'cause I remember it's Sly, 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 and Hoss, Hoss, Hoss. Love you, Hoss. Yes, I do. Okay, here's Mark. Mark. Hey, Peter, how's it going down in Miami? We got cool weather. Got some windows partly open. The air conditioners are all off, so I'm saving electrical because in this house it costs about $600 a month to keep it cool. And that's a lot of money for electricity. So it'll drop to more than half, less than half, whatever, under $300, okay, when we turn everything off. And the rest of it is just me, light bulbs. But I got all LED light bulbs, okay? So I do that, if that's a word, in order to actually save and conserve on power. Okay, so how do you like that Fujifilm making a fixed lens medium format camera? Oh, I didn't know it was medium format. I know they make the, what is it, the X100 and that series, but I didn't know they were making a fixed lens version of it. How do you like it, Mark? Does it appeal to you? Because I know you're very much into the medium format stuff. So I'll have to look that up to see what's going on. Going once, going twice. I love you, Mark. Oh, yes, I do, and I'm not singing you a song. Okay, so Coffee Talk Tech. CT&T, Coffee Talk Tech. Yeah, I mean you have to precondition before you charge when cold. Yes, I couldn't think of the word precondition. But I did get it eventually. But that is part of being 71 years old. Give me a break. I get a little turkey neck here, and I can't remember words when I need them. It's all fun and good. That's why I call us a family, because the people that come in here, they give me a lot of room. Hey, he's Peter. Just leave him alone, okay? So, and I love you guys for that. And that's right. Coffee. Hey, coffee. Precondition was the word I was looking for. You get the prize for tonight. Ding, 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 ding. Preconditioning your battery. If you don't precondition your battery, even if you're in warm weather, it's not going to charge at the speeds it could charge. So preconditioning your battery means taking the lithium-ion batteries that are in there, I don't know how many's in there, thousands, okay, and bringing them to the optimum temperature for them to receive the charge. If it's not at the optimum temperature, if it's too hot or if it's too cold, it slows the charging down. Now that made the news last year, not this year. And I don't mean 2024 last year, I mean 2023 last year. When Chicago was having really, really cold weather, people were not preconditioning their batteries, and they were having a hard time. It was serious. They couldn't get the car to start charging, or it would charge so slow, it would take like 40 hours to charge it up, and it started to create lines, and the news media swooped right in. Look how terrible electric cars are. The lines are crazy, and people are sitting there for hours. Precondition the damn car. Hello? Well, doesn't it take power to precondition the car? It takes power to run this body. But God designed it so that I eat and I make the electricity that's required for my body. The Tesla works the same way. The gas cars work the same way. Okay? They make themselves and put themselves into prime condition to work as good as they can. And then when you nail them for doing that, that's just lying news. What is it called? Fake news. Okay? Fake news, it's always going to be fake. Fake, 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 fake. Jake fake. Okay? So that's what I mean. But thank you, Coffee, for telling me. Yes. So that was the word I was looking for. I bet you were laughing at me, right? You're going like, ha, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Hey, Louis, up in Canada. It's cold up there. Hello, friends. And Peter, hope you're all doing well. I miss you. I miss you too. We're going to have to get on the phone and talk. Hello? What's your problem? Are you afraid of me to talk? Call me, I'm up till 2 in the morning. And so for you, that's kind of like, 11? We do talk, but it's got to be more than once or twice a year. It's just got to be. We're too close to each other. You went all the way out of your way when you were in Singapore to give me what I wanted. I asked you for something, and Louis did it. And it would be something I would never, ever see if it wasn't for Louis taking and doing something for me. Here's Joey, Bo, Joey, banana, nana, fo-fo-y, fee-fi, Joey. So where are you, Joey? You up north or down south? Joey, he's a Joyzy guy. He is a Joyzy guy. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-bum. And he wants to know where Sammy is. Why don't you call him? And he texted him. He texted Sammy. Joey, you got to get yourself more friends, okay? It's imperative. You need more friends, buddy. You can't just live with one friend, okay? If he gets busy, you're going to feel sad. I don't want you to be sad. So make yourself some good friends. And then when you make a good friend, take good care of them, because you could lose your friend, and you don't want to. You don't want to lose a friend. Right, Joey? Right? Okay. You be a good boy. All right. Randy says, Joey, he is here, but he might be sleeping. Yeah, he does fall asleep. Joey says, are we still pals? I haven't heard from you in a bit. Well, if we aren't pals, I'll let you know. Okay, Joey? Okay, buddy. So Randy is saying, yes, we are pals, Joey, just to make it solid. Okay? But I'm not going to sit with you on the phone for hours either. I can't. I got stuff to do. I got places to go. I got people to see. I got poop to do. I got to sit on the toilet. Don't tell anybody, Joey. That's private. So Randy says, talking to Mark, I went to the internet to search for that info and got sidetracked with Tanya in Korea and something stunt peg. Okay. I don't think I can make heads or tails out of that, Randy. Come on, dude. Oh, well, he wasn't talking to me. That's why. So Randy says, yes, the 6400 has the gyro data in it. That detects vibrations in the camera and records it. However, it doesn't have a built-in image stabilization. So it does not have image stabilization built in, but it will record the gyro data. So Kimbuka, the gyro data, to make it as simple as possible, there's something in the camera that is recording if I go hiccup. So you see that action? It records that I did that movement. Okay? Now what the software does is it counterbalances that movement. Doesn't even look at the picture. It just looks at the movement. So if I'm getting shaky because I'm nervous, or I'm getting up in age and I'm shaking the camera, the gyro that's in your camera and in most of the newer Sony cameras is recording all that movement. Now, it's not going to work miracles. I can't do this. How you doing? I'm fine. How's the weather down there? It's not going to fix that, okay? However, these movements or the shaking while I'm walking like that, or if I'm walking with one hand, it records all that movement. And when you put it into the software, it counteracts that movement by moving your image the opposite direction. So it's almost like a noise-canceling headphones. It's movement-canceling stabilization, for lack of better words. I do speak English. I just can't come up with words sometimes. So you have a good camera. You don't have to get rid of it. Just get the free gyro flow and then watch some videos on how to use it. Okay? And if you get confused, ask me and I'll tell you the truth. Okay, so the way the new version 1.6.0 works is different of the software GyroFlow than all the ones before it. All the ones before it required you to load your clip in and then apply a profile. So getting the right profile was on you. You had to do it. And it could be a little difficult sometimes. Okay? Now, the new version of GyroFlow 1.6.0, it identifies your camera model and your lens when it's a lens that it can identify. It gets the right profile and it applies it for you all seamlessly under the radar and quickly too. Okay? And then you just push export, but before you push the export button, you don't want it to come out as a ProRes 444 file where your little file becomes so big it can't fit in your computer. You want to export it, preferably, okay, the one I use, now this is a personal preference, just so you know, okay, I use ProRes Proxy, which takes it one step higher than the better step of H.264. Okay, so it's a win-win-win. It's still a small file. I'm still bypassing the H.264 routines and still getting a perfect file. I still can pile up all my clips in there, go to bed, wake up the next morning and it's done, or go to the potty and come back and it's most of the way done. Go feed your son and it come back and it's done. It'll do one after the other, after the other, after the other of all the clips you put in the software. Now, the free software from Sony doesn't do that. The free software from Sony will find the right profile, yes. But you can only do one at a time. When it finishes one, you have to come back and start a new one, okay? When it finishes that, you've got to babysit it all night long, okay, or all day long, because it won't do what's called a queue. You can't put it in a list. That's number one and number two. And number three is it puts it out at the worst quality level that is possible. Meaning if you took the time to get a good quality for some reason, let's say you got videos of your son and you want to keep them for next year to look at them and enjoy what you see, okay? And you picked a good quality in your camera, all right? So it's going to take it and degrade it to the lowest level of quality that the cameras will put out, which is a shame because that's basically a kick in the nuts as far as I'm concerned. Who takes it and just, reduces your quality level? So, it's like no respect. I took the time to make it a good quality, and you took the time to destroy my quality. Well, F you, Sony. You didn't know Peter talked like that, did you? All righty. Randy put it up here. Okay, guys, here. Gyroflow.xyz /gyroflow 1.6 link. Okay, so go to gyroflow.xyz, download it for free, and you got something new to learn, as if you didn't have enough to do in the daytime. Okay, but it works. Bop, 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 bop. Oh, you totally got his attention with that little ditty. He actually stopped his game and was answering you. Haas, what are you doing? Are you playing on your tablet or are you playing on Granny's big computer? Do you have your own chair? Are you sitting in your own chair? Are you sitting in Granny's lap? And are you playing with the computer with the speakers on? Can you hear the sounds? I hope you can, because Granny has a really, really good computer. Nobody has a computer as good as Granny's. She has the best computer on the whole block. Everywhere that you drive when you're in her car, if they have a computer, Granny's computer is better. So you are the blessed one. You get to play with Granny's computer. Thumbs up. Give me a high five. High five, Hoss. High five. Okay, go back and play your game. That's for you, Sly. That's for you. So Joey's very much into Teslas. So preconditioning is beneficial, and he's actually on his second Tesla. So that's pretty good too. Okay. And not only that, his dad had a Tesla also. Had or has? Did he get rid of it? Okay. Joey says, I'm surprised you know all this. Hey, what do you think I am, a dummy? I could probably tell you stuff about Tesla that you don't even know. Where is the 12-volt battery? Did you know it has a 12-volt battery, Joey? Do you know that the Tesla runs on a 12-volt battery too? And did you know that if your 12-volt battery dies, your car is as good as dead as like a regular gasoline, like the Honda that you had? Okay. Yeah, I'm sure Joey knows that. Mark says, I've been sick for 4 days straight. I couldn't record any videos this week. Oh my gosh. I'm finally on the upswing. Was in bed for 3 days straight. I don't know what I had. It wasn't COVID. Well, you know I have a go-to medicine for all that, okay? And the go-to medicine is to destroy any of the viruses that's going on in my body, any of the bacterias, which they would give you a antibacterial pill, what do they call it? Antibiotic, okay? And it will kill the stuff that's under the radar that the doctor never finds. All right, so my go-to medication is, number one, oil of oregano. You get that at a health food store or on Amazon. And the one I get on Amazon is called oreganol. It's like oregano with the L at the end of it. And it's P73. That tells you that it comes from the Mediterranean, which you want Mediterranean oregano when they make it. You don't want Spanish. You don't want Mexican. You want Mediterranean oregano. Okay? And this is not only for when you're sick. Like when we went to my brother's for the New Year's and somebody had a cold, they were sneezing the whole night long. From then on, actually it wasn't New Year's, it was Christmas. For the next 5 to 8 days, I was taking oregano every day. 15 drops. Now I can't take it, it's too strong for me. It burns worse than whiskey. Okay, so I can't handle it. So I bought capsules, empty ones from Amazon. I pop them open, I put the drops, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way to 15, close it, take the pill, and it's done. Okay? So oil of oregano is my number one go-to. Another one, and it would be more stringent for you, more important for you than it is for me, is vitamin D3. Vitamin D3, a lack of it will get you sick as a dog. Okay? And it comes from the sun. So the people up north that get depressed and they get sick over and over is they're not out in the sun. Why? Because there is no sun. So vitamin D3, oil of oregano, vitamin D3. And then the other one is colloidal silver. Okay? And what I do with that is I buy it in a liquid form. Actually, now I make my own. But I buy it in a liquid form from Amazon. It comes in a jug. It's a liquid. I get a spritzer, okay? And I spritz my face, and that kills. Silver is the stuff that they use in burn units. So when you go to a burn unit of a hospital, in order to keep them from getting infected, they put silver salve on the burns, okay? Otherwise, they're open to getting that burn infected, which complicates things much worse, all right? It's a killer of virus and bacteria. So I get the colloidal, C-O-I-L something, colloidal liquid silver, okay? And I spritz it all over my face, okay? Then I exhale. And then while I'm doing a big giant inhale, I'm spritzing it. I want it up in my nose and down into my lungs. And I don't want to drown myself. So I just spritz it in the air and I breathe it in like crazy. And then the final thing I do, like, like mouth spray, okay? And the purpose of all these things is to put your body in a position to fight, because it's your body that's going to fight this, whatever the problem is. And then the fourth thing is not a medicine. Drink clean water. Don't be drinking beer and liquor and stuff like that. You're just putting a bigger load on your liver. Now you need your liver to be cleaning your blood, and the same with your kidneys. So be drinking, good amounts of water. And then, of course, the basic vitamin C. Everybody uses vitamin C, don't they? No? Well, I do. I take a vitamin C, and if I get sick, and I don't even know what it is like you're doing, I'll take 3 a day. 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, 1 at night. Okay? If I get really bad, I'll take vitamin C until I get diarrhea. That means there's enough in my system where it wants to shit it out. That means it can grab whatever it wants of the vitamin C. Okay? That's how I try to help my body, because I'm not young like you. I need to be careful, okay? Because if I get sick with the wrong thing, it could become serious. So I'm very careful. Now, today I did sit out in the sun, which is something you can't do, and that is getting vitamin D. But I take a vitamin D3 pill every day, okay? And I suggest those things just to give your body a fighting chance. And if it gets really bad, go to the doctor. You might have to take an antibiotic. Might have to give you a shot in the ass. Let me do it. I'll stab that ass real good. Okay? But I want you to feel better, and I will keep you in my prayers. And it could be another variation of COVID, honestly. They can't identify it as COVID. Sly got so sick, and they kept saying, you don't have COVID, and the poor thing couldn't get out of bed. That's how sick she was. And she would get tested. You don't have COVID. We don't know what it is, but it's not COVID. Well, I think it's a variation of COVID, okay? It's, we've had colds for years. COVID isn't something new. COVID is another word for cold. COVID-19, okay, is the one that is the newest one. They'll have a 20 and a 21, all right? But the point is our bodies that fights this crap off. That's what fights the crap, okay? And you have to help your body. My nutritionist, because I said, I don't know whether to get vaccinated or not. They don't allow you to discuss the vaccines. Okay, you can't sue the company. And they're shoving it down your throat. Can't we have a discussion? No, if you discuss COVID on, what's this thing? YouTube, all right? Either they banned the program at that point, back a couple of years, or now they put a blue banner where they're like God. They're going to tell you the truth. They don't know their elbow from their ass. Sorry. Okay, and I'm not cussing. They really don't. From those two specific body parts. So, I think a good, healthy conversation will allow us to learn. And I want to learn. I don't want to die. So, it becomes important to have the conversation. But they squelched it. I hope they pay. I hope that YouTube pays dearly for doing that. Okay? Because when they had the bubonic plague and all these bad things, okay, people were able to talk. And one of the things that saved a lot of people was kerosene heaters. There's a whole story on that. A simple thing, kerosene heaters. Okay, so you'll have to look that up because I'm not going to tell you the story. Not going to do it, okay? So, Joey says he's in New Jersey. And he put a whole lot of stuff. Very funny, Peter. I love your humor. He's starting a new college tomorrow, close to New Jersey, like an hour away. How are you going to get there? Okay. I'll text you. I'm getting off stream. I'm going to sleep. I'll listen to the replay tomorrow. Okay. Stay healthy, Joey. Be a good boy, Joey. Very important. Okay. Randy says, oil of oregano and vitamin D3, colloidal silver plus liquid. You knew that ahead of me? How did you know that? Come on, Randy. I didn't know you were that up on this stuff. You make me laugh sometimes. So he's telling you. He's telling you the truth. Okay? And of course, the regular stuff. Vitamin C. You've heard of vitamin C? Oh, you know what else is very important? And I forgot to mention it. They come in suckables. Okay? They're like Ecamm, the medicine you can buy over the counter, without the medicine. It's zinc suckable tablets. You get them at CVS or Walgreens or Walmart, and you just pop one in your mouth and you suck on it like a cough drop. And it bathes your throat with zinc. The zinc kills the bacteria and the viruses. So there's a lot of stuff out there, but we couldn't talk about this back then because they squelched our conversation. That's not right. I don't appreciate it. And yes, it gets me mad because I believe in my heart people died from just not knowing some things they could do. Okay? Now, today, here's something for today. We have backed off on the safety. Okay? The hand sanitizer, washing your hands quite often. That shouldn't happen. Okay? We should still, especially going into the cold, more people die in January and February because their body can't handle the cold and the lack of sun. And the elderly die more in those months than any other months. Okay? So if you've gotten out of the habit of washing your hands, start again. Don't be a fanatic. Hands, wash your hands. Don't touch me and I won't touch you. Okay? Sweet, wash your hands. All right, anyway. We backed off from that. Now, I never believed in the masks, but you know what? It felt good. It's a psychological thing. I know they didn't do anything because you guys that live out in the cold, if you put a mask on and you go out in the freezing cold and the smoke will come right through the mask. So the germs will come right back through it too. But when I was at the grocery store, it felt good to wear a mask. It was psychological. But the fact that they had to make laws for you to wear a mask, no! We're in America. Don't be covering my face, especially children. They're the most resilient. Okay? And now people are dying and getting sick, and they can't trace it. My nephew, my godson, healthy as an ox. Out of nowhere, and he got pains in his chest, and he went to the doctor, and the doctor called the ambulance right there. He says, you're not going home. You're going straight to the ER. Okay? From being a healthy stud that was ready to beat the crap out of anybody, he wound up in the ER. They didn't know what was wrong with him. They said, your heart is becoming enlarged. What? And he was in the hospital for 2 to 3 weeks. They never said the C word, and they never said it was from the jab. Okay? But it's the only thing that was left. Thank God he's alive. And he recovered. Okay? Now when they come out with these new things, I say, are you going to get the new vaccine? No! See, you got to go through the trauma to change your mind. Otherwise, the people that are like the Karens that just don't shut up for 2 seconds, they will never shut up. What you want to have is a good conversation, because what happens with the conversation is we can come up with potential things that you can do, including a genuine vaccine. Okay? I'm not against medicine or vaccines. I'm against something being jabbed into my body that you can't tell me what it is and what it does. That I'm not exactly fond of. So, anyway. Thanks, Peter. The headaches were worse. 3 days straight with them. It finally went away yesterday. All right, so when you say headaches, the first question that I want to know, okay, and I'm not playing doctor, but I do care about you. So give me a second to just be the big brother for a minute. Where were the headaches? And don't say in my head. Were they at the back, at the base of your head? Were they at the front of your head? Or kind of like hovering over the top? All right? If they're in the back, in the base of your head, you need to be getting your blood pressure checked. And it's critical. Your head will pound when your blood pressure goes up. And if your blood pressure is up, you need to know it. Okay? Now, in the top and in the front, it could be sinuses, it could be ear, sinuses, it could be eyes. I will get an eye headache, okay, because you see, I on, off with the glasses. I will work myself into a headache. But that headache will be here, okay? It won't be back here. When I get a headache in the back here, okay, I go in my room and I have one of those cuffs, our wrist, and I take my blood pressure. And 9.9 times out of 10, my blood pressure is up quite high. Okay? So if your blood pressure is up high, increase your liquids immediately. Find some potassium to take, bananas, baked potato, cantaloupe. All right? And relax. Don't stress your body. So what blood pressure is your heart is having a hard time pumping the blood through the veins. It's not flowing free as a bird, okay? There's something that's backing it up. So you need to check it out. by someone that's really a doctor, not me, okay, and find out if that's a possibility. All right, front and sides, that would be sinus or your eyes or your ears. So it's not your blood pressure. You're not going to drop dead, okay? So you could start with something easy by taking some nose drops and seeing if that actually helps you. I know that 1 and 1 does not equal 2 here, but if you take nose drops and the headache diminishes, then it's something going on in your sinuses, and it might not be all the snot coming out of your nose, okay? It could be the sinuses are infected or swelled up back there. Now remember, I'm not a doctor. I'm just going from the years of having gone through this crap over and over and over, okay? So if it's on the front and the sides, okay, also look at your hidden sugar intake. And when I say hidden, look at things like liquors. They're sugars, okay? Beers are sugars, and I know you do very well with your beers and stuff, okay? If you drink a lot of coffee, it could be caffeine withdrawal. Yes, very much so. Like with me, during Christmas and the holidays, I have eaten a little too well, all right? And now I'm going back on a very strict thing. I will get headaches because the sugar is trying to get extracted, and it gives me a damn headache. So an Advil will knock it out, okay? I just take an Advil. It's not a good thing to do, but I don't want the headache, you know. So now if you can't take light, you could be on the cusp of getting migraines. So be careful of that also. But if you have stopped coffee and you did it cold turkey, maybe take a little bit of caffeine, maybe do some tea. I know that's wimpy, all right? But or have maybe just like a half a cup of coffee once a day or something. See if you can back it off. Or if you've been through it this long and you want to stay off coffee, then just stay off of it. I just don't want to hear you're in pain, buddy. I care about you. Mark, Randy's making fun of you. He's saying you're sad. You're getting a headache because your favorite football teams didn't make the playoffs. So Mark has a YouTube channel, and he broadcasts almost daily. And he basically gives you the rundown on the football things. And I'm watching him more and more now. I didn't realize I haven't watched them because now we're getting into January. The better games are going to be happening. And I'm not a football fan. I'm not ashamed to tell you that. I'm not a fan of football, and I hate the NFL company. But some of the games are really darn interesting, especially when it's from cities that you care about. And I love it when they play in the snow. Ooh, I'm in Miami, and when I see a football game being played in the snow, ooh la la, it is so much fun to watch these boys running around and rolling in the snow. I think it's great, okay? Hey, what are you going to do? Sue me? Get in line. I've already been sued. All right, guys, that is the end of our show. Thank you for being here. I love you so much. Thank you for coming and visiting with me. Carlos, I was hoping you were going to call me, buddy. I'd like to tell everybody how you're doing, but I did give your messages through. We are praying for you. We know you're in the line of fire of the fires. So everybody keep Carlos. That is the top priority, okay? And the other priority is one of Sly's co-workers has passed away, which is sad in itself. But when someone passes away, and especially when they're young, the family suffers. So even though we don't know their names, shoot up a prayer for that family that lost a loved one right here over the Christmas, New Year's holidays. Okay? That's what we do as a family. We step in on behalf of others. We care about each other, and we love each other. And we give thumbs up. 12 thumbs up. Wow. How many people we got in here? We got 9 people and 12 thumbs up. It's a miracle. If you're watching this on the rewind, thank you so much. Thank you for watching. Make a comment. Let me know you're there. I love hearing from you guys. Be sweet and nice. Don't be nasty. All right. Have a good one. If God is willing and the bridge isn't up, We'll see each other next Friday. Bye-bye.